Hi guys, second time trying to do this. My name's Alicia. If you've never met me before, this is So Mama Budgets. I told you guys I would be having a video with my true numbers of what my debt is. Please excuse me. I've been planting seeds today. It's been hot and I look a hot mess. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys so that you guys could see the numbers. But also so you guys can hold me accountable to do what I say that I'm going to do, as well as hopefully be an inspiration to someone. So I originally told you guys I thought my debt was about $150,000, and I was way off. Way off. My actual debt is $236,307.94. These are my active debts. So when I say active debts, these are the debts that I know that I have that are actively needing me to take care of them. Via like trucks, cars, student loans, taxes, those kind of things. I do have other debts that are in collections. So when I was in school, it was either finish school or pay the bills that were credit cards. I chose to finish school because I knew that I'd be making more money. However, we know how life goes, and it just meant I picked up some more debt. However, this debt is not just my debt. This debt is also my husband's debt and our combined debt. So there was things that my husband needed or wanted. Let's be serious. And I was like, okay, if that makes you happy and that's what you want, you're paying for it, go get it, right? Not realizing how much it was actually adding up. And it did. So 8 of these debts are his debts, and then 7 are mine, and then there's a few that are our debts together. Well, there's a couple of ones that he has that could be ours together if you really wanted to look at it that way. It's in both of our names, and that doesn't matter. I mean, it's our debt together. All of it is our debt together. So some of it I had before we got in the relationship. It's just how the cookie crumbles. So I'm gonna try to get you guys turned around and set up again without knocking the video off like I did a few minutes ago and having to redo all of this. So give me just a second. I'm going to get you guys set up and then I'm going to show you the actual numbers. Hold on. Okay, so I hope that you guys can see this. We're going to go through it and I'll tell you what it says. The first one on the list is 2024's taxes. I've been procrastinating, you guys. Actually, I can't say that. I was procrastinating at first, but then I called to set up like a payment plan, because you can do like a payment plan, and I thought it was going to automatically come out of my checking account because I put the information in there. However, they never started coming out. I need to call them and get that straightened out so that we can get this this debt taken care of. But I have added it into my budget monthly so that I'm actually paying on it monthly now, regardless of whether it's coming out of my account or not. The next, so that one is $11,600. I don't have a date of when I plan to, so that's what this is over here, is planned date to pay, and this says debt. I don't have a date there yet. I would love to get it done before, you know what, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put a December of 2026. I don't want to go into January of 27 with any debt from 2024. I don't want to go in there with any debt from 2026 either, but is that 25 actually? That's not 24's taxes, is it? Yes, because we're in 26, so that'll be, yes it is. Okay. Confusing, right? I know. Student loan. Now this is a whammy, you guys. If I could go back and tell my younger self something, I would so tell her in a heartbeat to pay this crap off, or not even to get it in the first place, because they took me through the cleaners for that and I was young and stupid. But because I didn't pay on it and I've had this debt for a very long time, the interest has went from where it was a $16,000 loan with the new, so it went from $16,000 with interest, it went up to 30, I think it was. But then with my schooling that I just went through, that added on to it. So now we are at $27,544.92. This one is a big one. So as for the date on that one, I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna be optimistic and I'm gonna say December of 27. That's almost, what is a year? year and 9 months or something like that. I mean, is it doable? Of course. Am I gonna do it? We'll see. And then we have a loan here for $4,500. This payment is about $140 a month. It's not crazy, but everything adds up, and I don't want to have a bunch of monthly payments. So we're gonna say December of 2026 on this one as well. As I said, these dates are subject to change. I'm trying to keep you guys in the camera, but okay. The next one is loan 2. Now this loan is one that I'm fixing to be hitting hard because this one is one of those title loan places. You put up the title of your car. I put up the title of my car to get money when we went to Mexico, and it was stupid, but it's what we had to do to have extra money, of course, because my dumb behind didn't save enough. But anyways, I still owe $3,226.78 on that. My plan is to have this loan paid off. Where are we at? We are in May, March. We're March, April, May. I'm gonna say by the end of June 26. That should be time to do it. Okay. Affirm. Oh gosh, Affirm. So this is actually in my daughter's name, but it was for me, for airplane tickets, and it said $2,802.64. That one, I would like, I don't even know. That one I have to look at because that one's on monthly payments for I can't remember how many months. So I need to look and see when that one's actually going to be paid off versus when I actually want to pay it. We'll come back to that one. Then there's my mom's credit card. So when I went to Mexico, my mom and I talked to her and I was like, Mom, I was like, because I don't have any credit cards with very high limits. And I told her, you know, like, when you go to Mexico and you drive, there's a lot of tolls, there's a lot of, you know, places that you have to stop to get gas, but these places don't take regular debit cards. It has to be not a lot of them. So there's very few, and it's very few and far between. So I use my mom's credit card. Tolls are crazy expensive in Mexico, so that was a lot of money. And then while I was in Mexico, I had to get a new passport, so I put that on there because my mom's like, it's only for emergencies. So I put that on there. And then we missed our flight, so I had to rebook tickets. So now I'm paying for 2 flights. Go figure, right? So $4,800 on my mom's credit card, and I want to say that I want to have this paid off by July of 26 because I don't like owing anybody money, but I especially don't like owing my mom money or my kids or anything like that. I don't want to have to do that. So yes. So then we have our lawnmower. This one is a 0% interest and it's $150 a month. So this one is $3,913.61. I'm not sure when the payoff of this actually is by those numbers. I would have to look, but not to sound crazy or rude or like, oh, she doesn't care about her debt. Yes, I care about my debt, but I don't care about paying this one off as quickly as some of the other ones because it has 0% interest. So I'm not even going to put a date there yet. There's a few of these that are not going to have dates on them, guys. Then we got a side-by-side. This was to start building my husband's credit after we got his papers, so that we could eventually finance our own cars, finance our own home, or whatever the case may be. So our side-by-side is $24,339. This one's at a high interest rate, but my goal for right now, over the next at least 6 months, is to hit all of my low debts first. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but those low debts might be low debts, but the monthly payments, they all add up to where if I pay all of them off, I could pay a whole nother payment on my side by side every month. So why would I not do that, right? Instead of just trying to pay off this $24,000 and still having those. So no, I'm going to pay off the smaller ones first. So we're not going to put anything on that one. Our little gray truck that we had is $22,302.18. Not putting a date there either. Do I want to get that one paid off faster? Of course. But like I said, small debts first. And as we work through them, then we'll discuss on which debts we're going to start tackling after we get done with the smaller debts. Our red truck, $34,000. This is the one we just got like 4 months ago. It's $34,896.53. This has become my truck because my husband was like, you can have that truck because I have to get a truck for the business that can pull a gooseneck trailer, and that one can't do it. So with our next one, the new business truck that is a gooseneck trailer is $49,581. Just got that like 3 weeks ago. Still waiting on it from the dealership because they're putting a gooseneck thing in the back of it. So hopefully this week we'll have it, but first payment's due in April on that one. The next one is mine and my daughter's sewing machine. So my daughter wanted to get into sewing. I have a sewing machine, but it kept messing up with I hated the bobbin that was on it, just where it was at and how you had to, like, if you didn't have it in the right way, it wouldn't work, blah, blah, blah. So my daughter wanted to learn how to sew. So we decided we were going to get sewing machines, matching sewing machines, so that I could help her, which I'm not a professional. I just started sewing myself, picked it back up not too long ago. I know a little bit, but I'll just try to teach her what I know, and then we're watching videos on it to learn the rest. So we're at $21,000, oh God, that's a expensive sewing machine. $2,147.84. These were expensive sewing machines, but they're quilting sewing machines, which is what I needed because I'm trying to make quilts and stuff. So that's the ones we got. So Progressive Leasing is a company that you can use. They loan you the money to get different things, as long as it's something that can be repossessed if you don't pay for it. So the one that I have is through Lowe's, and it was for my stove and my freezer, because my freezer went out not too long ago and the oven on my stove didn't work, and I was really tired of not being able to bake. I love to bake, I love to do cakes, I love to decorate cakes, I love to do all of that stuff, and have not been able to do it in over 2 years because my oven didn't work. So I was tired of not having an oven, so I went and got that, and I owe $1,800 on that. My goal is to have that paid off by April 3rd. It's in my binder already on how I plan to do that. The next one is Ross. This is my husband's credit card. This is not accurate to how much is on there. It's either at this or below this, but $350 was what I estimated. That I plan on trying to pay that off pretty quickly, just depending on how things go. Bell's another $350. That's another one of his credit cards that we got. Robbie is my credit card, $273.27 on that one. Plan on paying it off by April 3rd. Premier is my other credit card. It's $290. Plan on paying it off by April 3rd. Let's go ahead and plan on paying off Ross and Bell's by the end of May. So let's say May 30. I think there's 30 days in May. So we'll plan on trying to pay those off by then. And then Rainbow. So Rainbow is a machine that it's kind of an all-in-one machine. It's a house air purifier is what it is, but it's also more than that. So it's a vacuum cleaner. You can clean your walls, you can clean your mattresses, you can clean your floors, you can clean whatever with it, and it purifies the air that's coming out. A lady come and done a presentation for me, and I got a free little one for my bedroom. And I'm gonna tell you guys, I have seen such a difference in my breathing. So that is worth it to me because I have asthma and my breathing has been a lot easier since I got this machine in my home. So for that one, we just financed it not too long ago, and it's $3,689.32. So that one I would like to have to pay paid off by December of 2026. That is my goal for that one. Credit one is my husband's credit card. That is not the balance on his credit card. Excuse me. That is not the actual balance on his credit card. $400. That's the limit, but that's not what the balance is. It's below that. We'll just say 400 is whatever. And we'll say that we want to have that one paid off by the end of June. And then the last one is our trailer that my husband uses for side job work that he got. I do not know the actual amount of this trailer, what we owe. It could be this or it could be less than this. I'm not sure. $7,500 is what I estimated. I really do not know because I would need to call them and find out what the payoff is on it, and I have not had time to do that today. So we're gonna say that we want to have this one paid off also by the end of December. So I know this sounds like a lot, right? It sounds like, oh my gosh, like that's a lot of debt. That's a lot of stuff to want to get paid off in 1 year. So here's my plan, guys. Because my credit card, so if you take each of the credit cards, just the credit cards, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to include my mom's credit card in there, but just our credit cards. So there's 5 of those, and you say that your minimum payment is $40. That's $200 a month. $200 a month if you do minimum payments on your credit cards, which then you're not paying anything off anyways. And I don't ever do that. I do more than that. But if I pay these credit cards off, that $200, then I can roll over into something else. My first thing to get paid off is this Progressive Leasing because it has a 90-day same as cash payout option. I don't want to pay a penny over what I have to. That's why April 3rd is on that. And it's also $300 a month because it's out every 2 weeks, comes out of my account, $150. So it's also $300. So $300 extra dollars that I can then throw at something else, which is why once that's paid for, that extra $300 a month, I'm going to roll over to these credit cards and pay them off. So then that $300 plus the $200, $500, roll it to something else and pay that one off. So the avalanche method, so to speak. That is what I am doing, or at least trying to do, is the Dave Ramsey avalanche. Dave Ramsey's baby steps. So I've decided what I'm going to do is with the games that I'm playing for right now, all the money that's in these games is going to be going towards my emergency fund until I hit 1,000. And then when I hit 1,000, then those games can be allocated to different things. The Christmas, vacation, debt, whatever, because I know how I am. And if I try to say, okay, I'm just going to do this and I'm not going to have any fun, I'm not going to go do anything, I'm just going to take care of debt, I won't do it. I will not do it, you guys. I'm going to tell you right now, I know myself. So while I'm taking care of debts, I am going to still be saving money in order to take a weekend trip or whatever the case may be. There's actually 2 things right now that I'm going to be adding into what I'm saving for. So with my games, on the weeks that I have it, the extra money, I'm going to start 2 envelopes. One is going to be for a Bosch mixer and one's going to be for a a grain mill. These two things are very expensive. One's like $500 and the other one's like $600. They're very expensive. They're stuff that I know that I will use in my kitchen that will make my life a little bit easier. So this is why I'm going to start saving for them, because I don't want to keep telling myself no, when I know that I can just save for it and do it that way and still be paying off my debt. Would it be smarter to put that money towards my debt? Of course it would. But at the end of the day, would I be a happy person? No. Would I be somebody I wanted to be around? No. I'd be a very miserable person. So as long as I can get that $1,000 emergency fund, and I could still be paying off my debt, I may not be gazelle intense like he says, and it might take me a little bit longer, but as long as I'm paying it off, consistently paying it off, that is all that I'm worried about. So you guys, we have to do what works for us, right? We have to do what works for us. And I know me. And if I limit myself, I'm going to go out and I'm going to spend double of what I would. Because I don't like limitations, I guess. I don't know what it is. Well, I do know what it is. I love my mom and dad. They've always been great. They always gave us what we wanted as kids when they had the money, because when we first started out they didn't have the money, but then when my dad had his own companies and stuff, he was able to start like giving us stuff that would help to like just like give us the life that they didn't have, basically. I'm trying to get you guys, I feel like you're way up there. Sorry, that sign. I know that they were just trying to give us the life that they did not have, but there's a thin line, and I'm grateful for my parents. I'm grateful for what they were able to do for me, but in the same sense, I wish now as an adult, I wish that they would have made me work a little harder for my stuff and taught me to save it, because that is a hard lesson to learn. It is a hard lesson to learn. It's a hard lesson to have whenever you've had everything given to you and then you have to do it on your own, right? I don't know if anybody else has been in that situation. I'm sure some of you have been in that situation where you had everything handed to you and then you have to do it on your own, and it's not rainbows and unicorns and all the things. It's just not. It's not at all that way. My mom never really made us do chores or anything like that, and as an adult, that was hard. That was very hard, because at 18 I got married, and now I have a husband to cook for, I have a house to clean, I have my baby, so it was hard, like to learn that, but I transitioned well. But it's something that they're building blocks, right? These kids, they need building blocks. They need chores. They need to know how to clean a room. They need to know how to cook. So if you're not there, they can cook, or eventually they're going to have a family and they're going to need to know how to take care of their family. So when I say that I love my parents and they did well, there was some hard lessons to learn from things that I could have learned in my youthful years. I did try to instill some of that into my kids as they were growing up. That's hard with my mom and my dad, because they were like trying to do the same thing with them, and I'm like, no, like they need to learn this. Now, what I will say about my kids is that my kids are a lot better with money than I was, because I have stressed to them that you need to have savings, that you need to have a plan. Have they always been great with money? There's been times that they haven't, because stuff happens in life, and even though you have money in your account, doesn't mean that it's going to cover everything. So they would drain their savings, or bad relationships, unfortunately, can cause havoc. However, both my kids now are one's single and one's in a stable relationship, and they are both back on the saving money, preparing for the future kind of thing. My daughter has her bills paid up, She just got her income tax, so she paid up her bills and she put some money in savings, and guess what happened? She lost her job. But she's not stressing because yes, she lost her job, but she also protected herself by having that safety net, because she paid things up, because she has money in the bank and she has that savings. So yeah, I mean, that's my plan. I know I've tried to do this many times and I have succeeded to fail, but that's life. I think we all succeed and fail many times over, and sometimes it takes a few times, maybe sometimes it takes 10 times. Heck, there's things in my life that's taken me still taking me time to fail and learn, but every time you fail, you learn a smaller lesson every time, so that the lesson that you're learning is getting greater and greater, so you don't make the same mistakes again. And that's where I'm at. But I do want you guys to hold me accountable and be like, hey Alicia, did you pay that off yet? You said you were going to pay it off by April 3rd. Did you pay that off yet? Be in those comments. Get on my butt. That's what I need. Somebody get on my butt. But not only that, I want to inspire you guys too. Like, I needed inspiration, and I found some wonderful women on YouTube that's exactly what they do for me. They inspire me. Jamie's RN Budgets, Mystic Budgets, Norris Lee. I mean, there's so many good people out there that do these savings challenges and stuff. Boy Mom Loves to Save. She's a good one too. She's putting up for her retirement stuff, and I'm 43 and I ain't got nothing up for retirement. Nothing. You know what? I can't even put nothing up for retirement right now because of the mess that I've put myself in, and that's okay. I'm going to dig myself right back out of it. My husband and I, we're going to dig ourselves right back out of this. So my husband made a comment a few weeks ago, and he's like, well, I just don't understand. Like, why are you saying we don't have money? We should have money. Like, I don't understand. Baby, you don't understand because you haven't looked at the books. I'm the one that does the books and stuff. And I sat him down and I showed him all the bills, including the new truck, and I added it up and I said, this is what we're paying every month. $7,000 in bills. That is ridiculous. It is ridiculous to be paying that much. Now, my credit is shot, so that's something else that I will be trying to work on, is that. But my husband's he's working on gaining credit, so it's easier to gain credit than it is to fix credit. So I told him, I'm like, no more. We're not financing anything else, unless the only other thing that we would finance, and I don't want to, but would need to, is there's a trailer that's a special type of trailer that my husband would need for work. I haven't even seen any of them for sale in Florida, like, unless it's somebody that has it for sale used. But a lot of these trailers you have to get out of, like, Texas. There's specific trailers for specific jobs. So my husband rents one whenever he, does his jobs, but every time we rent that trailer, it's almost $800. I could be paying a payment on it every month for that. And would I want to add that extra debt? Not really, but at the end of the day, that's how my husband brings home money in order for us to pay all of these bills. And I mean, I bring home money too. It's not like I don't work. I do. We both work and make very good money, which is why we have so many bills in the first place. But I told my husband that I don't want to finance anything else unless it's that trailer, and I really don't want to finance anything for that. I would rather try to find one that's for sale, like a used one, and then we would just get a loan try to find one around like $5,000 instead of paying $15,000-20,000 for the trailer that we would need. So we'd be trying to save some money, but there again, we'll see what happens. I want you guys to hold me accountable, so please subscribe if you're interested, or if you want to help encourage me, and hopefully I can encourage you. So that's that little red button down below. It says subscribe. It's free, as well as the little bell icon that will let you know when I upload. And then help me stay on track, you guys. I'm going to be doing a little check-in. We'll try to do every month. We'll check in and see where we're at, how we're doing. That'll just be like a video by itself. But I'm hoping that you guys can help encourage me and get me through this, and I can help get you through something too, because this is a very large amount of money. $236,307.94. I about fell out of this chair this morning. I was sitting right here in this chair, and I about fell out of this chair this morning. It makes me want to cry that there's that much debt. There's that much stuff that I have to pay, that me and my husband have to pay. I mean, taxes. You're always going to have taxes. Two things for sure. In this world, there's two things for sure. You're always going to have taxes, and you're going to die eventually. That's never going to change. And I have to get those taken care of. Like, it's a very, very large goal that I want to take care of as quickly as possible. So, truth be known, when I get some of these other things taken care of, all the money that was going towards those, I'm going to start throwing at taxes. So that'll be that. I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else to say, you guys. It is what it is what's going to be. But the Lord has us in His hands, and He knows the things that we're going to face and battle before we face and battle Him. So He knew this debt was coming, and He knew I was going to get myself into this, and He knows how I'm going to get myself out of it. So I'm not going to worry about it, because I ain't going to worry about something I can't change. I'm just going to work and change it. That's all I can do. And I just hope that you guys will come along for the journey. It's been great sitting around with you guys. This is a little bit of a longer video. I do kind of like these like talking videos with you guys though, because it gets you to know me a little personally. You know, it's not always me just doing the games, or I haven't been real great about posting my weekly stuff for the budget, but I'm going to try to be better about that as well, so that you guys can see where I'm putting stuff in my budget to pay these things, because taxes has now just become a bill. It's not even something I need to save for. I'm going to start, trying to pay at least $200 every month on them. And if I can pay more than that, I will. It just depends on our checks and what they are, because my husband's checks are not always the same. They change because he gets a percentage of the job. So that is what that is on that. And then mine is just I think it's always the same, but it's a new job, so I don't really know how my paychecks go, like what my paychecks are going to look like on each schedule. I mean, the last check I got was good, and I hope that they'll all be like that, because if they're like that, baby, we could pay some stuff, let me tell you. Oh, but what I was going to say is that I did talk to my husband, and I told him, I'm like, look, things are going to be tight for the next 3 months. The next 3 months at least, they're going to be tight. This is what I'm doing. This is what you're going to have to spend, for yourself. This is what you're going to have for the business account. That's another thing. We opened up our business account, so automatically $1,000 of each of his checks are going to be going into that account, and that's so that he has the money to pay for hotel rooms, gas, diesel, and y'all know what the price of diesel is right now. Good God. So this is where we're at. As I told him, it was going to be tight, and we're just going to have to deal with it. We're just going to have to suck it up, and we're going to have to deal with it until we can get some of this debt off of us. And then I told him, after we get the debt off of us,
If we don't have cash, we don't get it. That's where I want to be at. If we don't have cash, we don't get it. Unless it's something like we were to absolutely, like our house, you know what I'm saying? Like we want to build a house eventually. So obviously we're not going to pay cash for that, but we need to have a cash down payment. There's things we have to save for, and that's just going to be one of them. But thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for listening to me ramble. I hope, like I said, that I can encourage you, and I hope that you guys will subscribe and keep me on track, on budget, kick me in the butt when I need it. Hold me accountable, guys. Until my next upload, which I won't have any uploads this week for any of the games because we're on a tight budget and I don't have the money for it this week. So there won't be any other videos after this one this week. So it'll be the next week. But until then, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.